whatever changes you have to make. And you just do it. You gotta think about your life. Being a black man in America isn't easy. Hunt is on. And you're the prey. All I'm saying is, survive.
All right. Born black in this white man's world, yeah, that's that Pac shit against all odds. And besides, what's the options? We wasn't never supposed to make it to see greatness since they changed us naked in the belly of slave ships. But we came before Columbus. Well, some of us, they stole our birthright in plain sight right in front of us. Africa is the throne, but planet Earth is our home. We indigenous to the globe, let it be known. These are hidden colors. Free my sisters and brothers. Let them know that they stars just like what's sitting above us. Cause Jesus ain't coming, Muhammad ain't coming. 8 whole years and you see Obama did nothing. Peace to that brother though, he is a dope symbol. Beautiful wife and kids, but that ain't the issue. It's deeper than rap, matter of fact, it's deeper than black. It's spiritual warfare, I'm just speaking the facts.
You wanna know something, Sam? You was always right, bro. You know what I'm saying? We was on the road to destruction from the beginning. Wasn't trying to head, you know? For now, you know, the minister showed us the right path. Trying to take that path. Listen, bro, we all make mistakes, especially me. If you got a chance to make it right, make it right.
Is this the land of the free or the home of the brave? With over 1 million melanated men in the cage. Politicians ain't backing us. Race soldiers, they capture us at a higher rate than the nation of South Africa. That was apartheid. This is a holocaust. This is more than a rhyme. This is a Molotov for coons and house niggas. This is for the bourgeois. And we don't want to hear that weak shit no more. My verse should be in your Bible. I'm nicer than all your idols. It's easy to see the future. History goes in cycles, but we don't live up the past. We just live in the math. Zalata Mustakim. We just stick to the path, regardless to who's in office. We always know they on offense. Blood sucking the poor, putting poison in niggas' water. So I don't trip off no Trump shit. Miss me with the dumb shit. America the beautiful, we love you, you cunt, bitch.
Now more than ever, I can see error in our way.
You know me for the backwood. Backwood kill me. Be like you kill me. You be putting that rope around my neck yourself. What you think you is, a hound dog? Backwood say go fetch, you fetch. You see me hang, you're gonna know. You're gonna know you kill a black brother.
Yo, they wanna do me like Diallo, but I'm feeling like I'm Nat Turner. Then Mark Beasley, I'm feeling that courage. Envision Harriet Tubman holding a musket. I'm famous as Larry Davis, frustrated with fuck shit. All I seek is justice, all I see is corruption. Think of Khalif Browder story, shit is disgusting. See, white supremacy don't play scrapper. Why the fuck you think they named Rikers Island after a slave catcher? They see blacks as the enemy. I'm bringing back memories of people like Jean-Jacques Dessalines. They want to test the team. I'm detonating like Pablo Esco, regulating the Medellin. I smell a Frenchman miles away in guerrilla war. Francois Dominique, Toussaint Louverture, the God of sea that studied the Gullah Wars with the wisdom of Noble Juwali and some other Moors. I'm refocused. Why would I keep hoping? Done with all that praying and marching, I'm refloating. I'm refocused. Why would I keep hoping? Done with all that praying and marching, I'm refloating.
Yeah, I could've got away on me. You catch it. You remember that. You remember that all day. You killed. You remember that. You killed. Because like you just proved what the would say. We're just beasts. Willing to do anything. Kill each other.
Yo, we die for selling cigarettes, die for selling CDs, die of a broken tail light in front of your wife and seeds. They live streaming, let you die in the precinct. They say you suicidal, then we hashtag rest in peace. I'm feeling seasick every time that I see this. Scrolling down my timeline, wish I could just delete it like it never happened. On second thought, why we let it happen, crying on TV. Begging for compassion from people with no conscience. My people so lost, we just pray away our problems like Jesus is gonna solve it. They give us hush money, man, miss me with that civil suit. You kill my baby, then cocksucker, I'm killing you. no negotiating. I know you Satan, I know you hating, I know you caveman. Caucasus Mountains, know where you came from. I did the knowledge, and though I ain't did it in college, I got a flow to let you know that I'm mentally growling. James Baldwin with the pen, told a judge I was sovereign. Besides, they ain't even have a warrant. He looked at me and said, stop. I don't care if you're standing in your square with your head cocked. My decision is Dred Scott, nigga.
Speak while I ain't gonna die like you gonna die, like a slave. I ain't giving no lifetime of misery and what this Peckerwood. I'd rather die than be a slave. You Peckerwood, that's right. You Peckerwood was oppressed in your own land. We was free. And you brought us here in chains. But now we here. And you just better know. This is just as much our land as it is yours. And after you hang me, kiss my ass. Oh, reload that.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.
That ending.
Oh, you never saw that before?
No, I have, but it just, I think it's like, I guess my favorite part, kiss my ass. Sometimes you just gotta tell somebody to kiss your ass.
Yes, indeed. So, all right, we here.
Yes, we are. We're back.
We're
back.
here.
Do I need better lighting?
Say what?
I'm only getting light from my window right here. Do I need my lamp? My ring light on?
No, not really. You good, money.
Okay.
You good, money. So, welcome everybody to this week's episode of Sincere of the Godcast. I know y'all might not recognize a nigga, but I am Sincere Love the God. It is me, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Nicety Girl. How's everybody doing this Sunday?
I had the same reaction, everyone. I had the same reaction, okay?
Listen, y'all go ahead, crack y'all jokes. Let y'all get y'all shit off.
You look very handsome. You look very handsome.
Yes, jokes. Nicely talking about I look like a black Hitler. She said I look like a black Hitler.
Well, it was the little mustache thing that was going on without the extra, it was just.
My son Josh said I look like a Mexican.
Oh wow!
Somebody told me I look like a mechanic, like I fix like I fix cars and shit. Somebody else said I look like the police.
Oh God, yeah, you can definitely.
Or y'all can kiss my ass.
If you took that hat off, that Raiders hat, threw a uniform on, you blend right in. You blend right in.
So I'm gonna let everybody have their little jokes for now, but after this week, I'm clapping back. So
right, all clap back
for now. By the way, hit that like button, share this out on your social media, and let everybody know that we live with another episode of Sincere of the Godcast. We're gonna get it in like we always do at this time, and so yeah, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. How's everybody doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's hot. It's so hot. Like, it's ridiculous. Hung out with Professor Zahelia yesterday. We went to the Court Cafe, which is a Black-owned restaurant here in LA. It's in Inglewood. Bomb, like the bomb. What else did I do? So that was first. And then we went to Professor Zahelia. Came home, chilled. I think I went to bed at like 8 o'clock. But when it's so hot, like you don't have the energy to do anything. You don't want to. Like, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that heat will drain your ass.
It drains you. So yeah, I was out, but yeah, I had a good weekend. How about everybody else? What's up, chat?
It's mild down here now. We was going through that extra heat for a couple of weeks. It was just in the 90s, damn near 100 degrees, just nonstop, 88 degrees at midnight type shit. But right now, I don't know. It might be in the 80s, but it feels a lot cooler since it's been so hot. You know what I'm saying? So it's not unbearable. It's
This
not
is
unbearable. We chilling right now. Um, but other than that, man, let me share with y'all, man, why I chopped the beard off. For now, I know many of y'all don't know. Some of y'all that's in a circle, of course, y'all know what I've been going through on a personal level. And so my daughter recently was diagnosed with cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she's doing great. She's doing great. She's been going through chemo since the beginning of the summer. And so now she had her last PET scan and cancer's not showing up anymore.
Amen.
Everything is looking great. But as you guys know, the chemo, it causes damage. It kills good cells as well as bad cells. And so she started losing her hair and stuff. And she had to cut it the other day. She had to do the big chop the other day on her hair. That was an emotional thing for us. And so I decided to join her on the journey. I'm already bald, so I couldn't do nothing about that. And so I started to chop the beard off just to support my baby girl. And, her mom cut her hair off. Her mom cut her
wow.
hair off. My mom was talking about cutting her hair off, but I don't think my daughter wants my mom to really cut her hair off. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But yeah, so that's the reason why y'all see the butt face right now. You know what I mean? So I'm going to keep it down until she does her last chemo treatment. She's still going to have to do chemo for a little while. They just want to make sure that it doesn't come back. And so they actually trying to figure out how to modify it now because her skin is breaking out real bad. She got a real bad rash all over her and stuff like that. And so last week she was supposed to go, but she didn't go for her treatment because they're trying to figure out, I don't know, lower the dosage or something they got to do because she's having some type of
adverse reaction.
Yeah. And, like I said, the cancer's not showing anymore. Everything on the scan looks good. And also the rash is a sign that it's working as well. You know what I'm saying? So everything is going good. We're just trying to tweak the treatment a little bit. And it won't be that much longer that she has to do the treatment. And so when she has her last treatment, then I'll start letting the beard grow back because her hair will be able to start growing back fuller and stuff like that. But so shout out to my baby girl. Love you.
Shout out to my niece.
We're going to hold it down together. But let me tell y'all the kind of the backstory a little bit too, because this kind of started while we were at the FBA Expo in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Memorial Weekend, a Foundation of Black American Business Expo down in Dallas at the Arts and Letters thing. We were down there vending. As you guys know, who've been watching us and keeping up with us, we've been interviewing all of the vendors from the FBA Expo. And so as you guys know, we were there. We were one of the vendors down there. And so in the middle of the day, while everything was going on, I had got a text message from my daughter's mom. She sent me a picture. My daughter, she had this big
lump, like
a big cyst, like a lump on her neck. They were at the gym working out, and she just looked at her like, what the hell? And so she noticed the lump on her neck, and they thought she was having some type of allergic reaction or whatever. So they went to go get it checked out, and they said they was going to have to do a biopsy and stuff like that. And so it was scary. While I was at the conference, and I got the picture with no context behind it. I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? And so when they went and got it checked out and all of that, they said they wanted to do a biopsy just to make sure that it wasn't cancerous or anything like that. And so I kind of wasn't worried about it because I had just went through something similar with my wife. Like a couple of weeks before that, maybe like a month and a half before that, she went to her doctor for a regular checkup. They felt some lumps in her neck and they did a biopsy on her, but everything came back benign. No cancer or nothing was found. And so when they said kind of the same thing with my daughter, I was like, oh, okay, all right, no big deal. But it came back as, like I said, Hodgkin's lymphoma is what they diagnosed her with. And so that just sent us in a whole whirlwind. And we've been dealing with that all summer long, her doing the chemo and having to switch some things up lifestyle-wise and stuff like that. But the family been supporting and rocking with her, and she's been trooping this thing, handling it like a soldier. Like her
I
spirits
was
have
gonna
been
say
up the
that.
whole time. She hasn't really been going through like the depression. Of course, she has her moments, you know what I'm saying, especially about
Hmm.
her hair. You know what I'm saying? My daughter has long curly hair all her life. And you know what I'm saying? That always been, you know, a thing. You know what I'm saying? We love her hair. And she loves her hair. So of course that was emotional to have to go through that, losing her hair and stuff like that. But she been hand like her mindset, her perspective on everything is very inspirational, man. It's
It
very
is.
inspirational.
I was gonna say that she's been a trooper this whole time. Of course, the feedback that you give to us, like she has been, like like my sister. My sister also battled breast cancer, and her whole thing was my sister's also a nurse, and she also worked in oncology, so she understood from the beginning having the right attitude, although it is stressful, but having the right attitude and always knowing that you're going to beat it, from jump. Having that type of mindset, and also the family love and support, which your daughter definitely has, and my daughter had, I believe that also makes a huge difference in beating any type of cancer. So shout out to baby girl for having the right mindset, and shout out to you guys as a family, for loving on her, the way that you guys have to make that, make things a little bit easier for her.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think she has made things easier for us, probably
Whether she knows it or not.
more
Right.
than we made things easy for her, because just the way, like I said, the way she's been dealing with it, it's admirable. You know what I'm saying? She be cracking
Hmm.
jokes and shit. Like when she called me, she FaceTimed me after she cut her hair, and I immediately got emotional. You know what I'm saying? Seeing her like that, and she had me and my mom on the FaceTime at the same time, and we all crying on the phone and shit. And she like, "Oh, y'all crying?" She like, "Oh man, now y'all gonna make me cry." So she start crying,
Aww.
and then after we got off the phone or whatever, she text us with the bald head emoji. I'm like, this girl's. She texted us with the bald head emoji. I was like, yo, this girl she's funny. She's funny. And she be making light about it and all of that stuff, man. So it's good. And she's gonna be fine. That's the great thing about it.
Yes,
You
amen.
know what I'm saying? She's gonna be fine. Little rough patch for a minute. And then we're gonna get back on track and carry on as we were. And so this is her
Right.
senior year. It's her senior year in high school. She's excited about graduating this year. She's not trying to let this slow her down at all. Like she got
Good.
options, you know what I'm saying? Being that she going through this, they put her on this, I think it's called a 504 plan at school, where she kind of got options to kind of fall back and, not really go
Right.
super hard if she don't want to, but she's
She's like,
determined.
nah. She's like,
Like,
nah. I'm about to do this.
I'm going to school, I'm doing what I got to do. I ain't trying to have no setbacks. I need to get on with my life. And so, shout out to baby girl.
Shout out
Like,
again. Mindset. You
for sure.
know, Brother Man talks about mindset. It's not just in business, but in your personal life. You know what I'm saying? In your family life, your health. Like the mindset will save your life. Mindset will save your life a lot of times. Even having to make a quick rash decision to get out the way. Car. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a mindset, and she has a positive outlook, and I'm glad that she could not necessarily use it as an excuse, but she could use it as an excuse. A lot of kids, well, I ain't got to study. I don't have to do school. Let me fall back there. But she's like, nah. Let
Oh,
me let me keep
she'll
pushing.
use it she'll use it as an excuse if you tell her to do the dishes or something. You know what I'm saying?
We pick our battles
Hey,
around
can
here.
you take care of these dishes for me? She'd be like, but I got cancer. I can't really. She's funny.
Yeah.
She's funny. And so yeah, that's why I'm looking a little funny, y'all. You know what I mean? So y'all can have y'all jokes. Do what
For
y'all gotta
now.
do.
Till next week. Till next week.
That's right. Next week I'm back on y'all ass. But appreciate y'all, everybody tapping in with us right now live. Again, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and all that. Shout out to Virgo Venom, always showing love in the chat. Crown
I
808,
see you. What's up, sis?
one
Black
third
Voltron in
godcast
here.
ENT. Well, technically it's five of us. 1/5 of Godcast ENT. Shout out to Black Voltron. See you, King. V1 to you. And everybody else tapping in, showing love. We appreciate y'all. It's gonna be a loose, kind of a loose show today. You know what I'm saying? We got some topics to touch on. Well, we kind of just catching up. We weren't here last week.
Right.
I was actually in Charlotte visiting my daughter. And so we were hanging out, chilling over there. So we didn't do a show. We actually, it was funny because while we were out there, my sons did the 1 chip challenge.
Oh yeah.
They did the 1 chip challenge. I posted it on Facebook. If y'all friends with me on Facebook, y'all can see the video on Facebook. It was funny. It was hilarious. We had
Why you didn't do it? Why you didn't do it?
I don't fuck around. I knew they dumbasses would do it though. I knew it. On my way, I was stopping to get gas on the highway on my way up there, and I seen it, and I'm like, oh yeah, these niggas would do this shit. I grabbed one. It was the box. I thought there was more than one in the box, so I just grabbed one box from the gas station on the highway, and so when I got there, opened it up and seen that there was only one, I had to go get another one so they both could do it. So y'all got to check out that video on my Facebook. It's funny. But now, like the day after, or 2 days after they did it, my daughter sent me a thing about this kid that actually died after he did the 1 chip challenge. Where was that at?
I don't remember.
I forgot where it was at, but it was a kid that did the 1 chip challenge, and he ended up dying shortly after. Now, they're not saying that it was from the chip, but his mom, his parents, they believe that it was from the chip. You know, some type of reaction he had from the chip that ended up killing him. But they're not saying that's the official cause of death yet. So I don't know. I don't think that it was the chip personally. I think there might have been something else going on, possibly. Who knows? Who knows if he got the jizzle or not? Mm-hmm. I don't know. But just one person out of all the millions of people that have been doing the 1 chip challenge, he's the only person I heard about. Have y'all heard about any more people?
I have not. And my son and his friends did the hot peanut challenge. It's the same brand by the same people that make the chips, except there's peanuts in there, and there's five levels to the peanuts. So it's level 1, 2, 3, and then 5 is like the max. So my son and his friends also did the challenge, which is going to be uploaded, I think, tonight on his YouTube channel. But it's made by the exact same people. And
peanuts, you know, it's not like that's going to be marinating around the taste buds. Mm-hmm. So, that's going to be worse than the tortilla, I think.
And he had to pay him to do it, by the way. And the food runs in my house like lightning and runs in my refrigerator and grabs my milk and sucks it off, a whole gallon of milk, and it still wasn't doing anything for him.
Listen, these fools was down bad for the rest of the day. Zaire threw up.
No.
Yes, he threw up.
But he tried to get it out of his stomach.
Right. It was coming out both ends.
Yeah, and I knew that was burning too.
Yep.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
Yep. And they both went to bed early. that killed the rest of the day.
Did you pay him?
No.
At least my son paid his friends.
I just gassed them up a little bit. I knew that they would want to try it. Both of them, I knew that they would want to try it. My daughter, I know she wasn't going to be with it. I damn sure wasn't finna do it.
Yeah,
I knew that they would be crazy enough to try it.
I'm not doing it.
But they said they wouldn't do it again though. And so they gassed their stepbrother to do it too the next day when he came from work. And he kind of took it like a champ. I ain't going front. Like, it was hot. He admitted that it was hot, but he wasn't acting like they was acting, because they was grabbing everything. Milk, juice, everything that they could grab, they was grabbing it. They was eating bread. They was all under the sink. They was down bad for the rest of the day.
Were their eyes watering, nose running at the time? You know?
Yes, all of that. And his eyes was watering and stuff like that. It was hot, but he was sitting there drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette.
He was fronting. He was trying to. He
fronted real good. I ain't gonna hold you. He fronted real good. He wasn't doing all that jumping around and all that stuff like they was doing. He showed them up. Yeah, somebody said milk and honey. Yeah, it don't work. I don't think none of it works.
I wasn't doing it.
I don't think none of it works.
I didn't even try.
Everybody said that's the hottest thing they ever ate in their life. And so I don't know. Like I was saying with the kid, R.I.P. to the young man that lost his life. But out of everybody that did it, that's the only story about somebody dying or being hospitalized or something like that. I think something else might have been going on. Maybe it was triggered by the chip.
Mama trying to get a lawsuit.
Right. Why not? And they're pulling it from shelves too. They're pulling it from shelves behind that story. So the company is taking it seriously, into consideration, and they taking it off shelves and stuff like that. So maybe it was. I don't know. Everybody's makeup is different. And so I don't know. We had fun with it though.
The shit was hilarious.
We had fun with it. All right, what's going on, Star?
My cousin in the building. I need to know where she's getting these watermelons from, though. She had a yellow watermelon. She had an orange watermelon today. Girl, where you getting these watermelons from?
Hey, my man, ever since I never even heard of it until I moved down here. And my man been promising me, because his family from Mississippi. He be going to Mississippi. They got farm and all that stuff down there. He always promising me he gonna bring me back some yellow meat watermelon. And I've been down here a decade and I still never had it.
Yeah, my mom said they have them in Arkansas. In Texarkana and stuff. Yeah.
And then she had the orange one. At first I thought it was pumpkin or something. I never even heard of that one.
Yes. I was like, what's going on? Where are we getting this from? Can you ship? Can I meet you in the middle to pick one up? Like, what's going on?
Spread love.
Right.
Spread love. I want to try that, man. I want to try some of that watermelon.
It looks so good.
For real. And so like I was saying, man, today is kind of going to be a loose show covering some topics. Y'all let us know what's been going on. I kind of been falling back a little bit from social media. I ain't doing like a social media fast or nothing, but I haven't been on social media as much.
Well, I'm in the loop.
Just yeah. So y'all gonna have to put me on, catch me up to speed with what's going on out here, because I don't watch the news and I haven't been heavy on social media as of late. So y'all gonna have to catch me up to speed on what's been going on.
Well, right now, the couple of the hottest topics, I'll start with the main one. Well, maybe not necessarily the main one, but one. It's going to be Erica Mena from Love and Hip Hop. Now, you know that she's a white Latina, Dominican. And then Spice, who's Jamaican, Chocolate sister. You guys may have seen her perform with Busta Rhymes when they did this last award show, when they did the hip hop anniversary thing, and I think they gave him an award, and she performed with Busta Rhymes as well. Anywho, they had a scene on there, which I do not watch the show, by the way. I've only seen the clips that you guys are seeing online. Of course, I YouTubed it, to get, some history on it. So they were in an argument over Safari, which Erica Mena and Safari are legally divorced. So whoever he's putting his puppy into is none of her business. You don't have to like her or anybody, but it's none of your business. He's no longer your husband. He's only your children's father, right? So she's just going on, how would, you just don't understand, being a single mother, and da-da-da-da. And so Spice says, you act like you're the first person that's been a single mother who's divorced and had to raise children without the father in the home. She's like, I've done it for 14 years, with my child. Like, welcome to the club. You're not like the only person on earth. Like, you're trying to make this into something. We all, all the women here have dealt with their own thing. You're not the only one. And so she gets offended, says something to Spice. And so Erica Mena, by the way, has an older son that's 16 years old. I don't know if he's Puerto Rican or Dominican. This has been an ongoing thing for probably 10 years at best where people throw shade at her because she never has her son, never talks about her son, the oldest one. She don't post him, nothing, right? And so it's always been a thing on that show where people would throw shots at her for not being a mom. I don't know the backstory. Anywho, she gets mad. She picks up a table because they're sitting at a restaurant and tries to pick it up and, pour the food all over Spice. They get up into an argument and she gets up and she's like, you fucking monkey. You blue monkey, because Spice wears her hair blue all the time. You blue monkey. This isn't the first time, though, that Erica has said something shady about a dark skinned, sister, on the show, or a dark skinned person on the show. She has history of doing this. Anywho, she's been fired from Love and Hip Hop and any other productions that she was involved in going forward. So, and that's indefinitely. But yeah, she took it there.
Okay. So we got Erica Mena, who I think is Puerto Rican.
Erica Mena is Dominican. A light-skinned Dominican. Now, wait a minute. So Safari is also smashing on the show that Amada Negra girl, who's also Dominican, but she's a dark-skinned Dominican. And Erica has had shit to say about her, too. Maybe y'all from the same place.
And Safari is Jamaican.
Jamaican.
And Spice is Jamaican.
Spice is Jamaican.
So all that colorism in these racial caste systems, that ain't got nothing to do with us over here. Because I seen Spice talking about it, the aftermath of it, whatever the case may be. And she kept saying, black people with the colorism. She kept referring to black people and all the colorism and all of this stuff. And I'm like, no, that's y'all over there in the Caribbean with all the colorism. We don't really do that.
Which she has a song about. She has a song about it that she put out a while ago.
She made a song a couple of years ago. She did the video where she painted herself white and all of that stuff. And again, that's a reflection of their culture. Put your flag on it. When you talk about the issue, it's an important issue to talk about. Y'all need to address the issue and raise awareness about the issue and figure out a way to resolve it. But put your flag on it. Don't just say black when you're talking about that issue, because we don't do that over here.
But when Erica said it, though, Erica meant all black people.
Right. That's what they do. I know that they mean all black people when they do it, but I'm saying that's a thing that comes from their culture.
Their culture. Agreed. Because honestly, we do not do that. Out here, we don't care if you light-skinned, meaning like the Creole-looking light-skinned people, because all light-skinned people are not Creole, but I have high yellow, green-eyed people in my family that are not mixed at all. Literally, not a drop. You know what I'm saying? They all Negro. Straight FBA. Period, point blank, on both fucking sides. Yellow as hell, light-ass eyes. Well, that's still a nigga.
Now, Nicey has been snatched by the Matrix. She'll be back. But the thing is this. We got colorism here in America, but it only goes to the limit of dating preferences. You got niggas who say they only like to date light-skinned women and shit like that. And that's as far as the colorism goes. Being light-skinned doesn't come with any extra privileges and benefits within the society. Whereas where these people come from, being light-skinned actually has tangible benefits to it. The lighter you are, the more status you have in the society. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to housing, loans, all of that different type of stuff, like tangible things within the society are based on a color caste system. And so that's why you got people over there. My device died. Okay, should be back. Her device died. She got to plug it back in. That's why you have people over there with the cake soap, bleaching their skin left and right and all of that. It's not just some type of, so-called fashion statement or whatever the case may be. They doing this to try to access more privileges within the society where they live at. You know what I'm saying? To not deal with the stigma that comes with being dark-skinned. You know what I'm saying? Because it has real, like I said, benefits to being light-skinned and detriments to being darker-skinned. All across the Caribbean, and not just in the Caribbean. Like I said in the song Revenge of the Akata, they do the same thing all across Asia. They have the same type of caste systems and all of that. And it was a story that came out recently about how those caste systems, mainly from Asia and India, places like that, have trickled into California, different parts of California. And I think I might be able to pull that up on here. Let me see if I got that ready. I don't know if I saved it here, but I saw it the other day. Let me see if I can find that. Y'all hit the like button for me in the meantime. Thumbs up in the chat in the meantime while I could see if I could find that story real quick. Because they was talking about that whole colorism thing trickling over to California. I don't see it. I don't think I saved it. But hold on. I think Nice D's back.
Sorry, my device died.
There you go. I was trying to see if I saved that story where they was talking about the colorism from India and places like that trickling over to California.
Let me find it. Did we put it in there?
I don't know if I did. Did you see that story?
I don't recall seeing that.
So I probably didn't. Save it. But I forgot exactly what they were talking about in that story. But I seen it the other day, and I don't see it now, so I didn't save it. But you were talking before you got before your phone died.
Yeah, I was saying, I forgot, but she's just known for doing that. I took it as when I hear her saying something like that, yes, they're both Caribbean, but I know that that could have been me and she would have said the same thing. And what was so disappointing to me is a lot of the cast from the show, Lil Scrappy, um, several of them, I don't think she mean it like that. Well, she is Latina, so they like us, or, when you're mad, anything goes. When you're mad, anything goes. She shouldn't be basically, shunned, because when you're mad, anything goes. No, anything doesn't go.
Right.
It does not go because, being mad doesn't make you say racist things. Like I could talk about your mama, your grandmama, your weight. She could have went in. I would have called her, Papa Smurf. Since she wear the blue hair. I don't know. There's so many things that you could have said, to get your point across, other than calling her, a monkey first, a monkey, then a blue monkey, and then she started making monkey sounds. That was just anti-black. Period. Also, she used to date her and Sin Santana, who has a child by Joe Budden. She did the Lip Service podcast a few years back, and she basically went in on how black men like Latina women better than they like black women. And she got a lot of flack for that. And she kind of went on an apology tour on different talk shows and stuff like that to try and clarify what she meant, but you meant what you meant. And the reason why you date black men as a Latina woman is because to you feel like they treat you better than they treat us. That's what you meant when you said it. And so her and Erica, because that's how she says her name, Erica, they come from the same ilk.
So I don't know the context of what's her name, Santana.
Her name is Sin Santana. Her name may be Cynthia because
that's
it's
Joe Budden's
SYN.
baby mom's name.
Joe. Yeah, and she dated Erica on the show. They were a whole lesbian couple, for a minute. I can actually bring that on here. She said that black men prefer Latina over us negresses.
Is it breaking up on my end or her end, guys?
It didn't sound
Let
like
me know in the chat.
Is
it janky on my end or her end?
I just put it in the chat, by the way. Her ex.
Because I do got a spinning ball on my side, so I think it might be me.
So I just feel like when she said that, she was on the couch with, Angela Lee and a bunch of other, females. And I think that I don't believe that that's the first time
like
they've had that conversation. Yeah, in that moment, absolutely. And gloating in a way. And I don't think even in that moment when she saw it, and I saw that years ago, when it was out. And she never apologized then. She thought it was cool. And it just looks like these are conversations that these women have had before. And other black women have made her feel cool with saying it. And honestly, if you look at any of the YouTube videos out there, it's black women on there, unfortunately, like, well, where's she lying? Where's she lie? And use it as an opportunity basically to shit on, black men, to be honest. I think everybody has a preference.
Yeah, I mean to say that with
you know what I'm saying? I don't sit there and say that black men treat. I know women that people in my family have dated others, and they didn't treat their asses no better than they treated, sister. If that's not who a man wants, he's not going to treat you how you feel like you should be treated. I'm just saying. If he don't want you.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just indicative of their culture, them talking like that. But yeah, you do have Negroes like that. But to just say black men, period, that's just false. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, the videos
but you do
that
have
you'll
Negroes
see on
like
there.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We call them Sambos.
Right.
We call them Sambos and bed bucks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not the black women were condoning what she said.
It's not acceptable part of our culture, though. Glitching
There
on,
delay.
right? Yeah, I see that. Yeah, there is. There is. I got 2 tabs open right now, but only because I wanted to show y'all this real quick, because we were talking about hold on. Close that.
Oh, here it
Yeah, it
is.
says caste discrimination bill could soon be banned in California, but the effort has been contentious. And so this is not the exact article I saw, but they talking about the same thing with this new bill. California lawmakers have cleared a bill that would explicitly ban caste discrimination in the state, sending it to the governor's desk for signature. Excuse me. State senators passed a bill on Tuesday that specifies caste as a subset of ancestry in the state's civil rights statutes, which would give residents legal recourse against instances of caste discrimination. The measure, an amended version of a bill that originally passed the Senate in May, was approved by a vote of 31-5. We shined a light on a long hidden form of discrimination, thousands of years old, invisible shackles on the wrists of millions of people, Democratic State Senator Aisha Wahab, who sponsored the bill, said at a news conference on Wednesday. We gave people an opportunity to voice their concern and finally be heard, and we believe that we will change the lives of Californians and those abroad. If Governor Gavin Newsom signs the legislation, California will become the first U.S. state to formally ban discrimination on the basis of caste. Newsom has not yet said whether he intends to sign the bill. A spokesperson from his office told CNN on Wednesday that, as with all measures that reach the governor's desk, the bill will be evaluated on its merits. So,
go to India with that. Go to India and fight for that over there, because we don't have that issue here. I've never heard of black people having an issue or not getting something because they're light skinned or dark skinned.
It's not about black people.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said go back to India with that shit.
Oh, but I'm saying they do have the problem here. They brought it over here with them, is the thing. This is a problem within the immigrant community.
Take it back. Take it back. That's not our problem.
They brought that type of shit over here with them. And so, particularly they're speaking here mostly about the Asian community. You know what I'm saying? But it goes on in the Latino community and all of that also. Whereas the people that migrate over here who are lighter complected, they get in positions of power and they gatekeep the positions the same way that they do back in their homelands.
Or like what they were doing here in LA with those city council workers who were talking about, those resources that were supposed to be allocated to, some of those black communities out there in South Central LA. Oh no, we're not going to do that. And we don't want such and such to get in because he's for the blacks.
Exactly. So that's what they're addressing with the bill. It ain't got shit to do with us. They doing a little infighting over there. They saying y'all treating us like the niggas. Y'all treating us like the FBAs. So we need a
That's
bill.
it.
They're getting a bill specifically for them. That's
For
what
them,
this is
right.
about.
I'm not going to say I'm going to do anything that's going to specifically do anything for Black people. No.
Right. I guess that's what we talking about next. Kamala Harris.
Right. No, because we're still touching on topics that we didn't get a chance to talk about. We got to talk about polite.
Oh yeah, a lot of people still talking about polite.
Polite, man. Polite. You know what I'm saying? Pled down to lesser charges. You know, he's putting out videos and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I wasn't convicted, of no child molestation. But first of all, you got to register. You know what I'm saying? They got to give you some type of sex offender therapy that he has to complete while incarcerated. And after, once you complete your 7 years, you're basically going to be on 10-year probation. And you pled down. They gave you a deal, fool. And your semen was found on this child, fool. And he also gave himself like a going away party or something like that the night of the day before his ass went to court, knowing that he knew that he was going to court, to finalize that deal he took.
I did see that. It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
And he ain't FBA. Let's get that out there too. He ain't FBA.
Polite is not FBA. Where's he from?
Nigerian.
Polite. There's been stuff out there for a long time, but because he was, talking that talk, I felt like people kind of ignored it because, he was maybe babbling to me, about religious stuff, but he also said some, good things, when you see him on camera. So I think a lot of people in the community, kind of, gave him a pass because if you are showing yourself to be someone that may be on code, who cares? If you're FBA or non-FBA, if you're on code or something. That's what my conjecture of it all is. But no, he's not FBA. Right. Yeah, I just never knew that. Yeah, I never knew that. I never knew that he was Nigerian at all.
And when he first got here, he was wearing the Nigerian garb too.
When he first, so he immigrated here.
He came through Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't even New York right away. He kind of trickled down to New York later on, but he was in Jersey first.
I never knew that. I never knew he was an immigrant at all. I mean,
he looked like one. Look at that head and face.
Got the hairline and all that. I just never know that. I just never even crossed my mind.
So, and being that he's from, a scamming culture, we are really not surprised either, are we? Right. We're not surprised.
Right. Yeah, I see a lot of people going in about polite heavy. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of people defending it too, though. Well, he really wasn't, and how we know she not lying. Well, nigga, I heard his cum get on her. Like, it's sick. You'll be surprised. I was actually on Dr. Ma'at. She did 2 lives the last couple of days.
Dr. Ma'at been on polite ass though.
Been on them, yeah, totally. Yeah. So, but obviously since the case finally broke and he pled guilty and stuff like that, she did a couple shows on there, and it's sick. People even in the comments there are still trying to justify, make excuses for, blame the mom, like everything. Niggas is sick.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-go. That's a no-go in our culture, man. That's not going to be, I feel like he got off light with the 7 years, but
absolutely.
If you're in population, that's not going to be no easy. That's not going to be no easy 7 years.
No,
not with those type of charges. That shit does not fly. I'm talking about you got, the inmates who feel some type of way about that, and the COs will turn a blind eye.
Period.
I done seen it firsthand. It does not go well for niggas with those type of charges behind that wall. So,
you think he'll be able to talk himself out of it, though? No, and they're gonna put him in PC, right? Aren't they gonna put him in PC?
I mean, he got to sign in. They ain't gonna. I don't think they're gonna automatically put him in PC, but he would have to sign in.
I thought they automatically did because of the charges. Anytime there's a crime against a child, that they automatically, because they know what's going to happen, right?
Well, in New York, they don't. I don't know what they're doing in other places.
This is Florida.
Places, so I don't know. But in New York, that's not an automatic thing. No, actually, like I said, the police not trying to protect you like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They'll throw you to the wolves.
Good. Throw his ass.
They'll whisper in somebody's ear about your charges and then walk away.
Good. Because I don't feel sorry for him, at all. And for me, it's his arrogance, his unapologetic nature, and stance on it, his posture, with everything. Like, I don't like it at all. He's too arrogant for me. It's a disgrace. And then to lie, well, her mom called me and asked me to take her with me to talk to her. First of all, it's 2:00 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have been like, all right, well, I'll talk to her tomorrow. Put her on the phone. Let's FaceTime. I don't know. You don't take her to a freaking club. Remember, this child also, not only was his semen found on her, but drugs and alcohol was in her system that he provided. There's video of him walking through the hotel with her. Nigga, shut up. We don't believe you.
Wow. See, I don't even know all of this, man. I really
lightly keeping up.
I have not kept up. I mean, it's been going on for years now. People have been putting stuff out there, and I see little stuff here and there, but it's nothing that I looked into in detail. But man,
right,
man,
yeah,
it's ugly,
very ugly.
It's ugly. So have we heard anything from Aminette?
No,
we haven't heard anything.
Nope. None of the wives have said anything at all. The only person or woman that we've heard from was going to be the victim statement that the child's mother gave.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that. Man.
And then he got off light sentence. He had to give her $5,000 up front, and then when he gets out, he has to pay her another $20,000 or $25,000, and that's going to be in payments once he's released from prison.
Like Voltron said, Polite is too well known online not to get put. Yeah, I mean, he's a high profile person, so they might just do that. They do stuff like that, like Pac. When he was in Clinton, they put him in they had like a whole high profile unit in Clinton where they had people like Pac, Shine, who else they had over there? I think one of the Gottis or something like that. So yeah, they do that for like high profile situations like that, being somebody's well known like that. So
put his ass in population.
Yeah.
Let the community handle him.
Oh, it's gonna be some justice. It will be some justice, because you ain't gonna do the whole 7. Because when you're in PC, it's basically like 23-1. It's like being in the box.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna do the whole 7 like that, unless you know what it is. But I don't know. We will see. I'm sure we will hear some news.
Yeah, we will.
I'm sure we will hear some news. So he's turned in, right?
You know what? I believe so. I mean, he was sentenced that day, unless I don't know. I don't recall hearing them cuff him and take him in the back.
Yeah, from my understanding, I think he's inside, but I know videos keep coming out, but I think he pre-recorded those or something.
Yeah. He had did those already.
Yeah.
And my thing is, even with pleading guilty to the lesser charge and all that stuff, like, shut up, because he is almost still like calling the victim a liar and stuff like that. Like, that's not showing any type of, yeah, that's that's a demon right there. He on demon time for real.
For real, yeah. People throw the word narcissistic around, you know what I'm saying? But that's like some real narcissism shit right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, like, what the hell? Something got to be wrong with you. And now, mind you, Polite comes from the Nubians, Dr. York.
Yep. Dr. York, yes.
He comes from that community. And so who knows what happened to him? You know what I'm saying? Who knows what happened to him while he was in that community, or what he participated in, being a part of that community that he thinks is okay. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Because
Dr. York's daughter talked about him, by the way.
Yes, for years.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings something else too, but let me just finish my thought. Him being in that community, like I said, who knows, what happened to him or what he might have been taking part in. Because as we know, Dr. York is locked up for the same type of charges, even worse. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like just a serial rapist, child molester type shit. And I've seen videos where Polite was kind of justifying that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sickness. You know what I mean? It's a mental illness because, you know, like you say, you're a high profile individual. You got all this money. You got bad women around you all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen his wives in person. Them some bad joints. What the hell you want with a 14-year-old girl?
Like you said, it's a sickness. And the other sickness is the niggas that was partying with him for his going away party to prison
Right. Who
after
are
these
those
charges.
niggas?
What's wrong with what these niggas at?
Who the
Somebody
hell
needs to
are
be
those
getting at
niggas?
their asses. Whoever was there, niggas need to be getting at them.
Listen closely to the mother's impact statement. The judge literally said that the defendant will be reprimanded into custody immediately. Okay, yeah,
Okay, good.
that's what I would think. Yeah, Malachi Z. York said my daddy and them chased Malachi Z. York out of Hempstead. Yeah, that's when they moved upstate. They was up there in Monticello and all that. And they was down here in Georgia when they had all that land and stuff down here in Georgia. And so, yeah, but speaking of that too, one of Dr. York's sons, I forgot his name, but he did a video recently, and he used to be one of Biggie Small's managers or something like that. Y'all know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I know who. Yeah, I can't think of his name though.
What the hell was the video that he did recently? He was going in on. Oh, he was trying to go in on Styles P. Styles P did an interview where he said he would rather have Trump than Biden in office. You know what I'm saying? He was like, both of them ain't shit, mind you. He ain't no Trump supporter, but he said both of them ain't shit. But I would prefer Donald Trump. At least I know what I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? He said the same thing we say. You know, give me my white supremacy hot on the platter. And so this dude, I don't remember his damn name. Damn, I know some of y'all got to know who I'm talking about. Dr. York's son that used to manage Biggie Smalls back in the days.
I'll get his name. Huh? While you doing that, hold on.
And so he came out trying to go in on Styles P about that. He sounded like a whole Democratic shield with the bullshit he was talking. You know what I'm saying? Caping heavy for the Democrats and Biden and all that. And now, mind you, this nigga too has been accused of a lot of sexual improprieties.
By his own sister too.
Yes.
By his own sister.
He's been accused of some real devious shit. You know what I mean? And he was on what's the name show a while back, the nigga with the red fez. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The big head nigga with the red fez. He was interviewing one of the girls who was accusing him, and he had hopped on and all that. And I remember seeing that. That wasn't a good look. That dude is funny style. That dude is funny style. And you know, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. That's Dr. York's son. Yeah, a lot of sick niggas out here, man. A lot of sick niggas out here roaming around in the so-called conscious community. You know what I'm saying? That's why I ain't never claimed to be a part of none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I know some of these people. I've met some of these people and shit like that. You know what I mean? But I ain't never claimed to be a part of none of that shit because...
Is it Jacob?
Yes, Jacob York. That's him. Jacob York. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. So he's funny style. So I think he might be caping for the Democrats so heavy because they giving him some type of pass about these accusations. That's what That's what I think. Because it don't make no sense the way he was caping for them like that. I'm like, what? Like he sounds just like any other Democratic shit. He sounds just like Roland Martin or any one of them.
Nigga, who sent you?
Right. For Styles P. And Styles P, you know, he just was saying some common sense shit and it was just his opinion. You know what I'm saying?
You're not allowed to have an opinion though when you're a Democrat.
Right. Yeah, Turtlehead. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What's going on, Breeze Omega? Shout out to you,
family.
Shout out to you, fam.
Yeah, it's weird stuff going on, but you know what I'm saying, it wasn't the justice that a lot of people would have wanted to see. I do feel like he should have gotten more time, absolutely, but some form of justice is better than no justice at all. So, it is what it is. And, healing to, that child, and her mother. And honestly, shout out to the mother. She reported him right away. When her daughter told her, she said that he was begging her not to call the police and stuff like that because her daughter was visibly drunk or high, whatever. He wanted to kind of doctor on her himself, and she wasn't having it, and she took her child straight to the hospital.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, because it's a lot of women out here that protect men, image in cases like this. Yeah,
especially nigga got money and influence and all
exactly.
that. You ain't trying to fuck the bag up, throw your daughter under the bus.
Right.
Yeah. So shout out to her. Shout out to her. Because we need to clean up this riffraff out here, man.
Oh yeah, especially in the unconscious community. Because I'm like you, I've never been claimed to be a part of the conscious community. Of course, there's some people that have been a part of the conscious community that you kind of like, oh, I dig this person. This person is talking that talk. This person seems like a writer. And then when shit like this happens, you like, just because people are talking good, we have to check paperwork. Professor Black, not Professor, but Jason Black always talks about that, checking paperwork. And we definitely got to, dig a lot deeper before we start allowing these people to speak for us, just because they have a proper tongue and know how to talk certain talk, yet they're doing a lot of, bullshit, And
my thing is, if the information is good, I can fuck with the information. But I don't gotta be following these individuals around and putting them on no pedestal and acting like they this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no need for that. That's why we say the code is the leader.
Yeah, but our people do. They literally.
Information, thank you. I could pick up the information. I could do my own due diligence and research, and I'll take what I need with me on my journey and leave the rest. You know what I'm saying?
Negroes don't do that. They start to idolize, these people, And I think that's what happened with Polite, hence why he's as arrogant as he is.
For sure. What else we talking about?
I'm going to go just really quick over to Raheem Shabazz. Shout out to him. Posted this today. Black community on high alert after 2 signs promoting white supremacist hate group were spotted outside Black business in Oak Bluffs. So it says strong families, strong nations, patriotfront.us. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's on Raheem Shabazz's timeline. Where is Oak Bluffs?
Is that the Bluff in Atlanta?
Maybe. I don't know.
The Bluff?
He just put Oak Bluff, so I don't know if that's Atlanta or not.
I guess that's probably the Bluff, the community that they call the Bluff down in Atlanta. I guess.
Now, what? Georgia still have sundown towns and shit like that. So would that be a part of that area?
No, that's actually the hood.
Okay.
The Bluff. You know what I mean? I know the Nation of Islam, they have one of their 10,000 Fearless centers in the Bluff. Yeah, it was in Atlanta. Yeah, Breeze Omega said it was in Atlanta. Okay, so I guess that's the Bluff.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. What was the caption?
Where?
What was the caption for that post? That Raheem Shabazz post?
Oh, hold on. Let me go back in there. Sorry. I was looking for something. So it says that Black community on high alert after 2 signs promoting the white supremacist hate group were spotted outside Black businesses in Oak Bluffs.
And now the sign, yeah, it is Patriot Front, right?
Yeah, the Patriot Front US. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Patriot Front, which we know, white supremacist organization. But the sign was saying something about build Black families or build strong families.
Just build strong families. It just says, the sign says strong families, strong nations. Now, the photos on there definitely are not Black people. Those are definitely Caucasians.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I don't know what kind of message they trying to send. Maybe they just wandered off in the wrong neighborhood with their post. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be about. But yeah, I don't blame the black community for being on high alert behind some shit like that because we know what Patriot Front is about.
Right,
So
and
yeah,
also you also in Georgia, so you best to be having you better have your power tools,
you already know.
you
You
know,
already,
have your power tools. So
yeah,
that's all I got to say.
that might not be an area where they really want to fuck around at. To be honest, that might not
But
be.
you know how they are though.
That ain't the sole target area.
Yeah, but you know how they do. They ambush. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna square up.
Of
They're not
course.
gonna try to catch a fair one. So be prepared for an ambush, black family.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And so I want to just kind of reinforce the topic of today's show. We're talking about socio-political football, how black people are used as socio-political football. I felt like it tied into majority of the stories that we wanted to touch on today because it happens on a political level. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get into the Kamala Harris out here pandering and all that stuff. As you know, it's election season now, so it's time to pander to the black vote. But we're also talking about it on a social level too, because we have like the situation we talked about earlier with Erica Mena and Spice, and how they need to delineate with their riffraff. You know what I'm saying? Stop using our culture as a football to kick around, and use blackness as a football to kick around when it's convenient. When you don't want to put certain stigma on your specific culture, start kicking around that black football, that black social football, and trying to leave all the garbage in our lap, right? And also the stuff that's going on with the tether community, like with Burna Boy, which we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
What else was it that I put on the damn on the what's the name?
Robert F.K. Kennedy Jr.
Yes, I definitely want to talk about that. Oh yeah, and Diddy with the publishing. With the publishing. It's like kind of mixed feelings about
business
Diddy.
is warfare.
Yeah. So let's just talk about that real quick, and then we'll get into some of the heavier stuff.
Okay.
So I know a lot of y'all heard about Diddy recently giving back all the bad boy artists they publishing. And to be clear, it's the publishing, not the masters. Publishing is different from the masters.
Okay. What's the difference? Because I don't know.
The master is basically like the original recording. It's the original copy of the piece of work, the album, the song, whatever it is. The master copy is just the original recording of it. Everything else is a duplication. You know what I'm saying? When you go buy the CD in the store or whatever, or when you stream it on platform, those are duplications and replicas of the master. And so whoever owns the masters has the control over the distribution of the work. You know what I'm saying? But the publishing is very important because the publishing is pretty much, your camera is off. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I was doing something.
The publishing is really the lion's share of the split when it comes to royalties, mechanical rights, and stuff like that. How the company and the artist and everybody gets paid out from the sales of the albums, from the songs and stuff like that. The publishing is very important because that is the lion's share of the payout. And so Diddy gave back all of the bad boy artists their publishing from the entire catalog. Now he's been in negotiations with selling the catalog for the last couple of years. So I guess it seems to me like he just didn't get wasn't able to negotiate what he wanted to get out of the deal by selling it. And so he was like, fuck it. If that's the case, I might as well just give it back to the artist. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be something else. I don't know what Diddy's motivation is for doing it. But some people feel like, well, damn, it took you long enough. It only been 30 years. And I heard one of the artists, Mark Curry, that used to be signed to Bad Boy, complaining, talking about the publishing ain't worth nothing no more. You should have just gave me $1 million or $2 million. You know, keep the damn publishing, give me the money. You know what I'm saying? Give me the cash. And so, I don't know, man. To me, I think I can't be mad at Diddy for giving back the publishing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Diddy's had this stigma on him for a long time about doing bad business with people and all of that. But it's really no different than what's been going on in the music industry forever. You know what I'm saying? It's just that he's a black man. And so to me, I don't agree with double standards. I don't feel like we should be holding Diddy to a certain standard that we don't hold everybody else to.
Yep. Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying what he's doing, if he's doing bad business, that it's okay, or that it's right, or that he's justified or whatever. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if we're going to hold Diddy to this standard, we need to hold everybody to this standard. He's not doing anything different than white executives, Jewish executives been doing since the beginning of the music industry. You know
and
what I'm saying?
Silent. And they're silent.
And they never do what he just did. Like I said, I don't know what his motivation is for doing it or whatever the case may be. I don't know the particulars with everybody's deal and what they publishing may or may not be worth. But for him to give it back is something that he never had to do. But he did.
Because at the end of the day, they could have had their business in order and signed a better contract from jump.
That's what I always say.
You
know what I'm saying? And the majority of the artists that worked with Diddy over the years, they had their issues throughout the years, but the majority of them rock with Diddy to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's
Mary J. Blige.
Right. Remember, the Lox went on a whole campaign to get off of Bad Boy. They went on a whole fuck Bad Boy campaign, free the Lox campaign, and all of that shit. Their situation was a high-profile dispute about their contracts and royalties and all of that stuff. And they got over it. They cool with Diddy to this day. Mace, he be kind of back and forth with Diddy. I don't hear Faith complaining about getting her publishing back and stuff like that. To me, I think it's an honorable move for him to give it back. He ain't have to do it. That's just my opinion. What y'all think?
He didn't have to do it. He wasn't contractually obligated to do so. Was it noble?
I don't know if I want to call it noble, but I just can't look at it as a bad thing. I don't see it as a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about the publishing rights is, I think there's a clause that came out in the 70s, like in the late 70s, where 35 years after the recording, you can go. There's a process where you could get the rights to your publishing back after 35 years.
Like Anita Baker did, right? Isn't that what she did?
Baker did recently, yes. Like Anita Baker did recently. That's what the whole thing with Prince was about. When he got off of Warner Brothers and wrote Slave on his face and all of that, he was trying to get his publishing and his masters and all of that stuff back. And he hadn't reached the 35-year mark. That's why he had to change his name and all of that stuff and start releasing stuff independently, which Prince was the first person to start putting music out on the internet and all of that stuff. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But for these Bad Boy artists, that 35 years is not up yet. So he could have just waited it out, and made them go through the process. You know what I mean? But he just decided for whatever reason, he just decided, you know what? We'll give everybody their publishing back. Maybe he's turning over a new leaf. I don't know. Who knows? But I just
clearly didn't need it. He didn't need it. He's puffed.
And the thing about people like Mark Curry complaining, talking about their publishing ain't worth nothing, what I say to that is, if your publishing ain't worth nothing, then the shit that you wrote ain't about shit.
Right.
The music that you created ain't about shit. It lasted for the hot moment while it was out, and now it ain't worth nothing. That was your creation. Yeah. If you made some hot shit that was going to last forever, that publishing is extremely valuable. If you know what to do with it. If you know about sync licensing and all of that stuff, how to get your stuff in movies, video games, commercials, like it's all type of stuff that you could do with the licensing to the music if you own the publishing. Everybody got to come to you to use it. So if you made something hot that's worth anything, then it should still have value.
Can't dispute it. He didn't. You're saying you didn't write anything timeless.
Right. I can't even think of a Mark Curry song. Anybody know what the hell Mark Curry song is? Or song that he was on?
I saw him on there, and I ain't gonna lie. I looked at him and I was like, when was he an artist? Because I don't remember him. I ain't gonna lie, I did that.
And I'm heavy into the music, and I don't remember this nigga like that. I just don't remember him. Mark Curry? Yeah. But I don't hear people like Shine complaining, Faith, Mace. Who else? I don't know. I ain't hear nothing from Loon. They probably happy to get their publishing back.
Well, clearly, because none of us really know who he is, and he said it out his mouth that he gave it back because it wasn't worth anything. Well, nigga, that's on you.
That's on you. And he wrote a book too. He wrote like some type of tell-all book some years ago, and I guess the book didn't do numbers either.
So I guess that's Puff's fault too.
Yeah. So this nigga, I don't know. Mark Curry, I guess he's just bitter. Yeah. She said the only Mark Curry I know is the comedian.
The man.
What was his show? Amen.
No, it wasn't Amen. It wasn't Amen. Amen was with the old people that got married and
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper. There you go. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
We showing our age up in here.
Proud.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Yeah, that's the only Mark Curry we acknowledge. Sorry.
Well, let's talk about the plantation jubilee that Kamala Harris had at her house, and she was conveniently playing Tribe Called Quest. You know,
for that video.
For that video, she was conveniently, no rhythm, just fake as hell. And it was the Sambos next to her for me, because where's your husband?
Oh, yes.
Where's your husband? Why weren't you dancing? It's the Sambos. Like, they just, like, she really just dropping it like it's hot. Like, sit y'all asses down, goofy ass.
Them niggas got on my nerves. Them niggas around her, yes. But the video is hilarious. I ain't gonna lie. I watched the video probably 40 times because the shit is hilarious. Shit had me on the floor. And I gotta play it on mute. I gotta play it on mute because of the music. But they playing Vibrant Thing by Q-Tip. And so for those of y'all that don't know, the context of it is she had a hip hop 50 celebration at her house, y'all. She had a hip hop 50 celebration at her house.
If y'all falling for this shit.
They put out this video right here. This is how they get the black vote right here. That's how they show that they down.
And look at the Sambos now. Pay attention to the Sambos. This is
hilarious to me.
She went to a HBCU, one of the most popping HBCUs, and she didn't get no rhythm when she went there. This is the most black people she's been around in a long time.
Kabbalah is funny. She was on beat though. She was on beat. That was part of the funny part to me.
And they rehearsed that. They rehearsed that for 2 weeks. They rehearsed that for 2 weeks. It was embarrassing.
This my embarrassing. Thing, right? This is my thing too, right? Like I know people. I know people in the comment section was saying that's probably the first time she ever heard that song, and she capping. She don't know the music like that. Whatever the case may be, I think she might actually know the song. Let's not act like hip hop is not the most popping music on the planet. Let's not act like rap didn't really take over the world. Like we actually really took over the world with rap music. Everybody know our shit. I don't care how square they are, what background they come from. Everybody rock with our shit. Our shit is what's popping. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
That's a dope song. It's a classic song.
Kamala doesn't listen to it.
Listen to my point, though. Listen to my point. Everybody listens to it. You go on TikTok right now, you will see the most hillbilly looking motherfuckers making TikToks to our shit. People that look like they're not supposed to be in tune with the culture at all. The only culture that's moving is our culture. So, of course, they in tune with it. But my thing is, that don't give you no brownie points. So what?
Yes, it did. You see them Negroes back there? Yes, it did. Look at them Negroes. That gave her, they made a whole batch of fresh brownies just because she did that.
Them niggas ain't got no brownie points to give out.
Listen, we were just talking about this our last Sunday broadcast. I said, are black people ready? Remember, we talked about this. We got a new election cycle coming up. And I said this. I was like, are black people really ready, to let go of the Democratic plantation? Because the Democrats do not feel like they have to change anything. And here we go again. Plantation Jubilee. Put some hip hop music on. Put some hot sauce in your purse. And niggas is going crazy.
And now, who were the rappers that were there? I think Common performed.
Democratic Shield next.
Right, and this nigga get on my nerves too because we called him out on the Masters Table album on the song. What song was that? The Fort. On the Fort song, we called him out by name about him shilling for the Democrats and all of that stuff too. And recently he was on this girl named No Name's album, which I was confused about that because No Name is going in heavy on that album. She's calling out like the Jay-Z's and all of these people who be caping for the NFL and all of that stuff. She's calling all of this stuff out all on the album. You know what I'm saying? She got a Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Beyonce, Rihanna, everybody. You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about, like, she talked the shit that we be talking. Anti-establishment and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Kinda. And I ain't gonna say exactly how we be talking, but some of the shit that we say is in alignment with the themes that she has on the album. So when Common was featured on there, I was like, what the fuck? How you got Common on here and you talking this talk?
Right.
It didn't add up to me. But Common was with the oldest, ugliest white woman. Who? What white woman?
Who? You wait.
I ain't know that.
Me neither.
I know he was with Angela Rye at one point.
Right. And wasn't he with Serena? He done had several now. He been Jennifer Hudson. Like, he been going through them.
Common that guy. He that guy. But like I said,
he gives me moist vibes though.
Oh really? Damn. Never got that.
I get it because with the way he running through them, you're in your 50s at this point. You haven't gotten married yet. Like, what's wrong with you?
That mean you gay though?
I don't know. Something wrong with him. It's something wrong with him. I don't know. Nigga, I don't know.
You like, ran through all these chicks and you ain't married nobody, you must be gay.
Yeah. Like, nigga, are you confused? Like, is he confused?
That's a reach, ma'am.
I don't know. It may be. I'm just telling you.
That's
how I'm feeling.
I ain't gonna put that on him. But
all these successful, beautiful Black women that you know, been tapping throughout the years, it's time for you to settle your old ass down. Remember, Angela Rye claims that they broke up because he didn't want a family.
Everything ain't for everybody.
His daughter is grown.
What that got to do with anything? I'm confused.
Yeah, but you're dating a younger woman who doesn't have children.
Everything ain't for everybody. I'm just saying that don't make the man gay.
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying.
I say he get his aura. It's not just his dating, his aura. I don't know. I'm telling y'all, don't be surprised if he don't come out one day like Tevin Campbell did. He just waited a long time, although we knew. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be surprised.
So him and Barack Obama, him and Barack Obama, you saying?
Y'all heard it here first. When he comes out, y'all heard it here first.
Maybe that's why he's caping for the Democrats. Maybe him and Barack Obama.
Hey,
they got some type of entanglement going on. I don't know. Maybe.
You never know.
I ain't gonna put that on the man like that. But yeah, he be caping heavy. And I forgot who else they said was performing there though. But they had a few rappers performing at this Plantation Jubilee they had at Kamala's house. It's embarrassing. It's disrespectful. We gotta be way more politically sophisticated than to continue to go for this bullshit, family.
That's why
and I know on here we preaching to the choir. I know on here we kind of preaching to the choir, but we got to send this message to our family members and some of our friends who we know ain't really on code like this to not fall for the bullshit, man.
But we got to get Trump out. They pressing charges. They pressing charges on Trump. They pressing charges. They should be pressing them on Biden.
Right.
And his son. What the hell?
Right. Right. My thing is, these people are criminals across the board. Lil Wayne performed there. But that's not surprising. I'm not surprised by that.
It's just disgusting.
They must have had a good budget though. That's some high profile people.
They always have the budget for what they want. It's just when we're talking about reparations, that's when the budget gets, Right.
All of a sudden everybody starts tapping their pockets.
Not just that. It's a lot of people that just really don't want to see foundational Black Americans getting anything. Not just the white people, not just the government, but your non-white Black people.
Facts.
Even your
Non-white
gender
black
class,
people.
even I mean your non-white people. Does that make sense? Like your Hispanics, your Asians.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then also the tethers. You know, we have people that look like us that don't want us together. You have people like that is FBA, who I feel like should be stomping hard with her old ass, Maxine Waters and others of her, that's, up in there politically that are not saying anything, but they out here loud and proud every time a bus pull up, full of illegals. Talking about
Okay.
what we should do.
Some chick named Star said Common, Jeezy, MC Light, Roxanne Shante, Fat Joe, and others. Lil Wayne rapped Mrs. Officer in one of the performances. Yeah, I'm not surprised by none of that.
Mm-mm.
I'm not surprised by none of that.
Again, that's why I asked, are we ready?
I'm just happy my nigga Nas wasn't there. That's all.
Well, he performed with Lil Nas X, so
I have to go. I already dealt with that. I'm past
Hey, so let's talk about this one though, because this is super important. Some chick named Star, Black Voltron, myself, we're all in California. California State Assembly passed a bill allowing parents to lose custody of their children if they wouldn't accept their kids' gender transition. So Lil Billy, 5 years old, talking about he's Brianna, and mom says, no, Lil Billy, your little ass is Billy. You not no damn Brianna. Now go over there and play with that Tonka truck. And he goes home and tells Miss Kennedy at school, his teacher, mommy won't let me be Brianna. I told her my name is Brianna, and she told me I have to say Lil Billy. And Miss Kennedy go turns her in, and now Lil Billy little ass is taken out the home.
How y'all let this go down out there in California, man? I got to pick
the thing about this stuff, that a lot of this stuff gets snuck in under other bills. Because to be honest, I did not know about the bill. So they sneak shit in.
This is insane.
Insane and disgusting and degenerate as hell.
Evil. It's evil. It's some evil
Diabolical.
shit. You could lose your kid.
Yeah.
You could lose custody of your child. Oh my goodness. This is pure evil, diabolical shit that's going on.
And all this is based off of a feeling.
And y'all wonder why we say dismantle the system. You know what I'm saying? Y'all wonder why we is not here trying to assimilate, conform, reform, and fix this and that. You got to throw away the whole damn baby and the water. We got to start from scratch. This system cannot stand at all. We got to start completely from scratch. Y'all doing shit like this? Like what? I hope nothing. I don't really look forward to bad shit happening like that. But somebody's gonna get killed behind this.
Yeah.
There will be a Chris Dorner type situation behind you trying to take away somebody's kids about some shit like this. Because
and they're going to take it to the school that it happened, because most of the time something like this is going to happen in a school. It's going to be a teacher that's reporting, a child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's going to happen within a school setting.
Right. And it's going to be a black child, black parents.
Always.
That's what they're going to enforce it on.
Always.
They're going to force it. They ain't going to play with white people like that. They might do a white Hispanic sacrifice here or there, but it's really going to be targeting black people. And I don't know if y'all think black men is just going to stand for that. I don't know if that's what y'all really think. Black men are just going to stand for that.
Black women ain't either. Not ones like me. I'm not standing for that. That's crazy. It's sick. It's crazy. And then the mammy, the bald head mammy that they had up here talking about it, on the video. It's in the material or whatever. She just sound dumb as hell. Bald head ass.
I didn't realize that only 5 to 10% of California is black. I didn't realize that.
I mean, you talking about Black American though. We're surrounded by foreigners.
So if you go Black American, then it's probably even less.
Right. We're surrounded by foreigners.
But y'all don't got a lot of in LA, y'all don't got a lot of black immigrants, right?
The
Yeah, got Belizeans. Y'all got a lot of Belizeans.
we got a Belizean. That's the immigrant shit. We don't have like we have the Ethiopians. You know, they got a little Ethiopia out here, so we got some Ethiopians. Definitely the Belizeans, and the rest is really gonna be Hispanic.
Right. Crown 808 said teachers turning them out, rainbow flags all over the place. It's on their agenda. And I just seen some school, forgot where it was at. They just hired a drag queen as the principal.
Oh no, my child would have been taken out the same day.
The drag queen is the principal of the damn school. I think it's a middle school, and this drag queen was accused of possessing child porn before. Beat the case somehow, but went to court being accused of possessing child porn. And this is who you hire as your principal
of a school.
It's insane.
Shit,
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, again, they on demon time for sure. They definitely on demon time, you know. But they're waiting for people to buck back, and ain't nobody really bucking back.
Like I say, I say this over and over again. This is one of the main reasons why I enjoy living in the red state, because I can rely on these rednecks, white supremacists, to turn up when it comes to shit like this.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen on their watch.
They fall in line out here. Fall in line. Honestly, black people don't want to be a part of the PTA if we're gonna keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? They really don't know a lot of what's going on in the school. So a lot of this shit happens because people are not getting involved the way that they should.
People are not engaged. Yeah, that ain't good. That ain't good, man. And you know, as California, so goes the rest of the country. So it ain't gonna stop with California. So the rest of us need to be on the lookout for these bills and statutes and shit like this when it comes to these babies, man. Because again, this is
coming
evil.
for them. They coming for the babies. So, are we gonna talk about this Kennedy dude?
Yes, I do want to talk about.
You know, and black people revere his dad so much, but he comes.
Black people.
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm still talking about black people though.
When I say old, I'm talking about old too. Like,
yeah, my mom is 75. I told y'all, and so sometimes even now in conversations with her about Kennedy, she talks about him in a very revered way. To be honest, and it be taking me to clap back.
Yeah, But you remember back in the days, they used to have the fans in the church. Remember the fans? They used to have
with his ass on it.
Yeah, they have Martin Luther King on this side and John Kennedy on this side.
Mm-hmm. And and honestly, I don't know from them like why. Before we get into the topic, I don't get it.
Media, man. Media is a powerful entity. You know what I'm saying? And back then, there really was no alternative media. So you constantly being fed this through the schools, through the television and all that he was this good guy, that he was a civil rights icon or whatever the case may be. They showing pictures of him and Dr. King. You know what I'm saying? So I could understand the people back then, but now, I don't know.
With the information, we're in a time of information, and you still think this about this man?
And so Robert F. Kennedy, he's been going on podcasts, and he was on the Breakfast Club lately, and people been asking him about reparations, and he talks about how he's for reparations, he's against cash payments. He says he's for reparations, and when he says he's for reparations, he does say specifically for foundational Black Americans, descendants of slaves. That's who it should be for, but he's against cash payments because he's under the opinion that it doesn't work, that it would, it would be more detrimental than it would be beneficial, in his opinion, based on what he says, the work that he did with some of the Native American Redskin Indian communities that he's worked with to get their reparations. And he's talked about there was one group who was for the cash payments and another group who was against the cash payments. And the group that got the cash payments, their community is back in shambles after they got what they was asking for. And now their community is in shambles because of mismanagement of funds and lack of financial literacy and all of this stuff. And the community that went with the alternative non-cash payments, whatever the other programs they was offering, their community is still thriving. So that's his reasoning behind being against cash payments as a form of reparation. He also thinks it would be harder to push through Congress and go through the whole process of getting it done.
Because of anti-blackness, though, not because they fear that, it's not going to work. It's rooted in anti-blackness, period, point blank. And if you're not for cash reparations, you're not for reparations. Don't say you're for it. If you're against cash reparations, then you're just not for reparations. That's just what it is.
Right. I'm just trying to explain what he was saying. I'm not saying I agree, whatever.
No, I know that. I'm talking about his wrinkled ass. You're not for reparations if you're against cash reparations. First of all, the wealth gap is us at the bottom caste. We have no wealth. So it's going to take money, not programs, but money to close that gap. And it's going to take a lot of it. And even with reparations, I don't think we would ever close it, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But shit, let us live good off what we get, and build our own institutions and schools and businesses, etc.
Well, of course, not with just the cash payments alone.
Of course, we need
and
it's more than that. We get it.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Those of us who push for reparations, we always say that it starts with cash payments. Not that the cash payment is the satisfaction of reparations. No, that's just the beginning, but it has to start with the cash payments. You know what I'm saying? And as you know, even what's the sister's name?
Teslin.
No.
Teslin Figueroa.
No, not Teslin. The sister from the task force.
Oh, Camila.
Camilla something. Yeah, I forgot her name.
Yeah.
But yeah, even she, she broke down the 5 points of what reparations entails based on international precedent. And so even talks about cash payments being a part of that. But what I wanted to say is, when he was on the Breakfast Club and Teslin was drilling him about the reparations, I was listening carefully to what he said. Now, somebody in the comments said, on the surface, I agree. Wiggleman said, on the surface, I agree. What do you agree with, Wiggleman? There should still be a limit of cash payments, but also some assets. Yeah, that's okay. So that's what we're saying. Like, cash payments is not the end all be all, but cash payments is what it has to start with. It definitely has to include cash payments. Otherwise, we're not talking about reparations. But yeah, cash payments is not the end all be all. But if you're not talking about cash payments, you're not talking about reparations.
And they're giving the natives cash payments too, plus land, So like, don't bring them up and not bring up the fact that they're getting everything that we're asking for, actually.
Right. Well, but this is what I'm saying. He did say that. And that's why I said, I was listening carefully to what he said. Hold on. I'm looking for the clip. I was listening carefully to what he said, and I kind of agree with parts of what he was saying. Now, like we said, if you against cash payments, you are against reparations. That part, I'm wholeheartedly with you on that. But when you listen closely to what he said, is this it right here? Yeah, I think this is the clip. I think I got it queued
He's on
up
the Breakfast Club,
part.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to pull up the clip from the Breakfast Club, and this is fair use. Hold on, chill. Yeah, so it's gonna be a clip from the Breakfast Club that I'm pulling up. Fair use. We doing this for teaching purposes, political commentary, whatever you call it. It's fair use, not infringing on they copyright. I think I got the right part here. And so let me finish what I was saying before I play it. Yeah, if you say that you're against cash payments, then that means you're not for reparations. You're only giving lip service to reparations if you're against cash payments being a part of that. But when I listened carefully to what he was saying, the part that I say that I agree with him with is the program that he's talking about doing. He's not presenting that as a reparations program. And so the program that he's talking about pushing, if he's to get elected, the things that he's talking about doing specifically for Black Americans, if he gets elected, I think those are good things. And the fact that he's not calling it reparations, I respect that. He's saying,
to get it passed, basically.
Right. Look, not saying that. He's saying, look, if y'all want to push for cash payments and reparations and all that, y'all go ahead and do that. I'm not going to fight y'all on that. I don't agree with it. I don't think that y'all going to be able to get it done, but I'm not going to get in y'all way. If that's what y'all want to do, y'all go ahead and do that. But what I have in mind is these programs that I worked with, my family worked with, the Native Americans with, or a Black community, I think in Brooklyn back in the days, he talking about that he worked with to get stuff like this done. He's like, this is what I know how to do. You know, the stuff that y'all talking about, I don't know if y'all going to be able to get that done, but if y'all want to do that, y'all go ahead and do that. But that's not what I'm proposing. But
Okay.
I think he needs to be more clear about that, though. He needs to make it more clear that the programs that he's proposing, he's not proposing that as a reparations program. He's just saying, this is what I can do. I know how to get this done. And those programs, I think, are good and beneficial, and we can use those programs. I would support him on those programs as long as you're not trying to pawn it off as a form of reparations. That
or reparations package, right.
And I think a lot of people miss that, because I heard a lot of people reporting on what he said on the Breakfast Club, what he said on Math Hoffa's podcast. I seen TD Hip Hop, Tariq Nasheed, a couple different people speak on it, but I don't think they caught this part of it. And so I hope I got the right part pulled up. Let's see.
Not. Are you against cash reparations in addition to all of the other programs as well?
No, I wouldn't be against them, but let me just point out something to you. When a politician does not have the courage to do something.
So she asked him, in addition to the programs that you're talking about, would you be against cash payments? And so he said, I'm not against it. And then he went on to say, when a politician tells you they're going to put together a commission, that means they too scared to push whatever program that it is. They're trying to buy time. They stalling. That's all they doing when they start talking about putting these commissions together. Stalling.
The Congressional Black Caucus. Caucus is stalling. So that's what he's saying, right?
Anytime they tell you, oh, we're going to put a commission to study reparations or anything like that, it's capped.
Right.
They just stalling and buying time. They're trying to get your support without giving you anything.
HR 40.
So that's facts what he's saying.
HR 40.
So, all right, this is not the whole clip that I wanted to play. Let me see if I can get the rest in a minute. But pay attention to what he's saying right there. He's basically saying, that reparations thing, the way that y'all going about it, I don't believe y'all going to be able to get it done. I'm not going to fight y'all on it. I'm not going to stand in y'all way if that's what y'all want to do. I just don't think that's going to get done. But I do know how to get some stuff done that will benefit this community, the foundational Black American community. And he's specific about that. And so I want to find the rest of that part, but you could add whatever your thoughts is to what he just said.
But he's saying, I don't think that it's going to get done. But he doesn't say why. I mean, I would just love for someone to step on and say, you're not going to get this done because the people, that can make this happen are anti-Black. Like, say it.
I think he did say that.
Let's say it. And then also the 5 pillars for reparation, of course, cash payments, restitution, rehabilitation, satisfaction, and guaranteed of non-repetition. I just wanted to say that for the record. Cash payments, restitution, rehabilitation, satisfaction, guaranteed of non-repetition. Those are the 5 pillars for reparations. And you can find that information on Freedmen on Code bookclub.org. If you want to look at that. And also, if you're following the California Reparations Task Force, you'll know what the 5 pillars for reparations are as well.
So I'm not sure if this is it, but let's just go through it. Let's just go through some of this. Hopefully it's close to this part right here. Hold on,
Is this
because
the
this
one
is
that's
one part that I
above?
really want y'all to hear. It's one part that I really want y'all to hear. Hold on a second. Y'all bear with me. What you was gonna say, Nicely?
Oh no, I thought it was something. It was another video, but it wasn't pertaining to that.
All right, let's hear this. Let's hear this right here. Let's hear this right here. He said, I'm focusing on the things that I believe I can change. So again, we may not agree with him about the way we're going about reparations is not going to work. We may not agree with him on that. But this is a separate thing. I believe this is the part, but this is a separate thing that he's talking about.
Things that
And so that's the part that I want y'all to pay attention to. And so we know that education and loans and all the stuff that he's talking about is not reparations. That ain't reparations.
Right.
But he's not saying that's reparations. He's not saying that's reparations. He's saying, y'all want to do reparations? I'm not going to fight y'all on that. But this is what I can do.
This is what I can do
Those
to make
programs
that work.
The grant, business loans, all the reforming the schools and all of that stuff. He's saying, I can get this done over here. It's not reparations.
But is it going to be called?
And so-
Is his going to be called divisive though, or is it going to be one of those rainbow coalition things? Because now we have to include the Latinos and stuff. Because you know what I'm saying? Like everybody says that, and when he writes such things that he can do, will it be specific for Black Americans, or is it going to be this, minority coalition? Because I hear what he's saying. Write the bill. Write it up. Let us see it in black and white. I want to see the language and what he's talking about, not just the lip service that he's given on here, but what has he written up?
Of course, we got to pay attention to every word. We got to, go through it with a fine tooth comb to make sure that the language is tight. But what I'm saying is, listening to him in these couple of podcasts where he spoke on this, is I'm noticing that he's not trying to conflate these programs with reparations like most people do.
Right.
Most of the politicians, that's what they do. They try to present these type of things and say that's reparations. No, it's not.
Bernie Sanders.
So the thing is, let's just say hypothetically, he were to get elected, and he was to push bills to get these things done that he's talking about. That's not an impediment to us fighting for reparations.
I agree.
It's still something separate. It's still
tangible.
And it's tangible that we could benefit from.
It's something tangible. Mm-hmm.
It's tangible benefits that we could benefit from, and he's not trying to fake us out by calling it reparations when it's not. So I respect that, and I don't think a lot of people notice that from what I've heard of people covering it. I don't think a lot of people really notice that because he got the speech impediment and all that. It's kind of hard to understand him, But I pride myself on being a good listener. And so I think that's a good thing that he's presenting and that he's separating that from the reparations issue. But it's kind of jumbled around because we're talking about reparations in this segment on the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? So it needs
to be intentional too, though, and because media is warfare. So that a lot of that is intentional because they want it to, they want us to be confused. A lot of that stuff is confusing and when they're trying to conflate it, and he's articulating himself well. But again, with it's being presented and they're talking about specifically reparations, but he's talking about, well, I don't see this happening, but this is what I can get done. But you're still saying or using the word reparations. That is meant to confuse people, I believe,
right,
in media.
Right. But I just wanted to say to us, those of us in the B1 community, because I know many of us, as soon as we hear somebody say they're not for cash payments or whatever the case may be, we just totally shut it off. All I'm saying is listen a little bit more carefully. You know what I'm saying? Take the emotions out of it and listen to what's actually being said and being presented. And like Nicely said, let's see it in writing so we can really go through it and pick it apart and dissect it to make sure that it's something so we can make a reasonable decision of whether we want to get behind it or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now he's throwing his hat in, right? He is throwing his hat in. All right. So at this point, you should have something written up at this point. If
Yeah, I
you
don't know if
are a
you guys know.
contender, you should have something in writing right now that you can share, with the people that you want to support you.
I haven't gone through his site. I clicked on it the other day and then I got distracted, but I haven't gone through his site, but he does have a site up. Y'all want to take a look at it?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Hold on, let me go to his Twitter page because he got the link over there on Twitter. Let me stop sharing this. Stop sharing that. Y'all bear with me.
Make sure you guys are sharing this broadcast out. If you have not hit the like button, make sure you do that as well. Share on all your social media platforms.
Yeah,
Get
and
us in the algorithm.
by the way, we didn't promote our book today, man. Let them know they can get the book and all that.
Oh yeah. Don't forget about 7 The Super Hey Rule, Volume 1, 7's Big Move. You guys can get that now at www.godcastbooks.com. Again, that is www.godcastbooks.com. The birthday bundle is done. So we're back to the regular, but make sure you guys are supporting the book. Also, you guys look out for Volume 2 and 3 coming soon. Volumes 2 and 3 will be dropping soon.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody who's been supporting us on the book. We appreciate y'all. Everybody that got their books. Make sure you guys take some pictures, make some videos or whatever, and tag us in it so we could repost y'all and stuff like that. Just sent out a couple more books the other day, so some of y'all who just ordered should be receiving your books very soon. And again, thank y'all for the support. All right, let's go through RFK's website. See what kind of talk he talking. Priorities.
Let me get my iPad so I can see this close.
All priorities. Honest government, reconciliation, environment, revitalization, peace, civil liberties. Let's go to reconciliation. What you talking about with reconciliation? Heal the divide. America is more polarized and divided now than at any time in living memory. Both sides seem to agree that the basic problem is the horrible people on the other side. Other side of what? I'm confused already.
Right.
Okay. Both sides are wrong. The basic problem is the division itself. A divided public lacks the strength to resist exploitation or to overcome the inertia of the status quo. The classic American can-do spirit exhausts itself in endless battles. And so I agree with what he said on the Breakfast Club when he said, look, you can't legislate people feeling how they feel about the other group, basically is what he was saying. Like, people are always going to have their views, whether it's racist or biased or whatever the case may be. You can't really legislate that. There's no law or bill that you could make to make people stop being racist. I agree with him. I agree with him with that. That's not something that we fighting for. You can feel however you want to feel, but you shouldn't have the position, the privilege, the resources, and the backing of a system so that you can carry out, what I'm saying, those negative feelings that you have toward me with impunity. That's the only thing.
Right.
You can feel however you want to feel as long as there's a level playing field.
But that's a thing too. Especially when we as foundational Black Americans are talking about, tangibles for us, they always want to tap into some feelings. I don't care about racism. I'm not trying to end racism. Yes, racism is a part of why, we didn't get reparations. Why, my ancestors didn't get their just due. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to change white people's feelings about me. Pay up though. That's it. They want us to, be emotional about it. Worry about them loving us and stuff. They are never going to, and I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Cut the check.
That's it.
He ain't talking about nothing right here, from what I see.
Yeah, nothing.
Abortions, guns, immigration. Mm-hmm. Both sides have legitimate concerns. It sounds like he's trying to please everybody. He's not trying to offend anyone. You know what I'm saying? That ain't going to work. You're going to have to take some hard stance on certain things. Sorry.
Especially reparations and immigration.
In the case of race relations, reconciliation includes repairing the damage caused by centuries of bigotry. Our administration will take racial healing seriously through a program of targeted community repair. Our operating principle is not guilt for the sins of one's ancestors, but rather compassion. We will invoke the authentic desire in all Americans, white and black, liberal and conservative, to improve the condition of black and native brothers and sisters. So this is vague. Nothing
Very vague, and natives getting theirs. Natives is getting theirs. So you know what I'm saying? Stop adding us with them. They're getting something.
These commitments to respect and unity start right now in the campaign. In Kennedy's own words, every nation, like every individual, has a darker side and a lighter side. The easiest thing for a politician to do is to appeal to our greed, to our anger, to our fear, to our xenophobia, our bigotry, all the alchemies of tribalism. I will appeal instead to our generosity as a people, our goodness, our kindness. So you're going to try to convince people to get on board with doing justice. You're going to try to persuade people to do the right thing. That's not legislation, fam.
Mm-hmm.
That's not legislation.
And again, he did what a lot of them do too, though, is conflate, especially black people, with another group. So if we're not being, attached to the Hispanic community, we're being attached to the Native American communities, and both of those communities are both anti-black. Like, stop doing that. It's offensive, and we are our own group. When you go to them, you're not talking about us. Let's be very, very clear. When you go to them, you're not talking about what you need to do for them and black people. But every time they come sit and talk in our face, they're talking about what they need to do for us and other groups. And I don't like that. Talk to me. And when you go talk to them, rightfully talk to them.
Yeah, this stuff is all vague for the most part. Our administration will make it a top priority to protect and restore the fundamental civil liberties enshrined in the Bill of Rights. Who's not enjoying the fundamental civil liberties enshrined in the Bill of Rights?
Black people, foundational Black Americans specifically.
Right. We're the only people that's not benefiting from that. It's working for everybody else.
Right.
Let me see. I think I seen something about black people down here. Hold on.
No.
Let me see. The same right to property. I got to back up so I can get the context. Hold on. We will respect the right to privacy and freedom from unreasonable searches and seizures by ending mass surveillance of American citizens and abuse of civil assets. So this is talking about some of the stuff that happened after 9/11, invading people's privacy and all that. We will make sure that the COVID era suspension of right to assembly, trial by jury, and freedom of worship will never happen again. The same, because remember, he was heavy against the jab and all of that stuff too. He was going hard against that. So the same right to property. During the COVID, 3.4 million businesses were forced to close. Many of them, including 60% of Black-owned businesses, will never reopen. Okay, what you gonna do about it?
Right.
A Kennedy administration will respect American citizens and stop treating them like suspects and school children. We will stop manipulating the public with propaganda and targeted leaks. We will never weaponize the law against political opponents, nor hold our officials. That ain't got nothing to do with these black businesses closing down, sir. Hold on.
Right. Right from there, he should have said what his plans were.
Right.
We done jumped into a whole other topic.
Right. We will also take special care to ensure the civil liberties of minorities and the poor. All right, Mr. Kennedy, we done here.
Yeah. Yep.
We done here, sir.
Yeah. Bye. I have no time, no energy, no tolerance, for bullshit at this point in the game. My people are suffering. I don't have time to play with Kennedy and nobody else.
Hey, we 2 hours in? God damn.
Yeah, but it was fun 2 hours. It's good. It was a good show.
Yeah, that went by quick. I didn't even know that we've been on here that long. We've been on here for 2 hours. Appreciate y'all rocking with us, family. Did we at least cover the stuff that we wanted to cover?
We did. Well, one more. I think I wanted to cover that. Make people may or may not be interested in, but
Burner Boy.
YSL Polo convicted of fatal shooting that was caught on camera in a separate case. So he's also in that case with the on that RICO stuff.
Right. So,
Yeah. So he was convicted. I don't know if y'all saw him though a couple weeks ago. They had the cameras in the court. All of a sudden, he started doing some like he.
oh, that was him.
That was him, yeah. So I guess he was gonna start. I think he was gonna try to plead like he insane or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
But he's already doing like double life. He's never getting out.
Ever.
He's never getting out. So I seen what they was trying to do. They was trying to take him off of the RICO case. Like, all right, you already got him. He ain't never getting out anyway.
Right.
Take him off of our case because him doing all this stuff in the courtroom is gonna prevent the rest of the clients from getting a fair trial. Which that makes sense. But the judge denied it though. The judge denied that. But before we go I wanted to talk about Burna Boy.
Oh, yeah. That's down here. Let me get it.
I wanted to talk about Burna Boy. And again, this all ties in with the sociopolitical football. You know what I'm saying? Because they try to use our culture when it's beneficial and pretend that it's not our culture and attach it to themselves. Regular tether shit. You know what I'm saying? But Burna Boy, I know people have been talking about his situation recently. He's saying weird shit in some of his interviews. But the one that he did on Apple Music when he said that Afro beats has no substance to it, the music ain't about nothing. Most of the artists don't have no real life experience, so they don't got nothing to talk about. He said literally the songs are about nothing. He's not even just trying to say there's not no positive messages, there's not no uplifting messages. He's saying literally the songs are about nothing.
About nothing.
It's just a good time. Where's the lie? he told the truth. And the Nigerians were upset. The Afro beats community were upset with him to the point where his album only sold like
21,000.
21,000, something like that.
21,000. Yeah.
He did horrible numbers. The whole Afro beats community turned their back on him for saying the truth. And he's not the only one because Tim's said something like that too.
Who?
And now, you know Tim's. This is the piece that you cannot buy. I ain't that you cannot be. What is the joy? Her.
I don't know who that is.
The one that's on the song, that Future and Drake. I forgot how that song goes.
Nope.
But she did an interview with Kendrick Lamar recently. And she said, when I listen to Nigerian music, and now mind you, when they talk about Afro beats, they call it Nigerian music. It's not even attributed to the whole continent. The Nigerians are claiming Afro beats as their own. Right? So I just want y'all to peep that. But she said, when I listen to Nigerian music, it sounded so plain and basic, and there was nothing spiritual about it, and I could not connect to it. That's a quote from Tim's. So in a recent interview on Intertwined, the legendary American rapper Kendrick Lamar, Grammy Award-winning Nigerian singer Tim's told Kendrick Lamar that she decided to pursue classic R&B instead of Afro beats, which is more popular in Nigeria. And so people from Burna Boy's era, people from Tim's era, they didn't grow up hearing Afro beats. They grew up listening to our shit. That's the reason why. That's the reason why all of their biggest hits are samples of our shit. You know what I'm saying? Burna Boy biggest song right now, he sampled Brandy, sampled Tony Braxton. You know what I'm saying?
Where are they without us?
That they grew up listening to. And so these two artists, I'm giving them their props because they telling the truth. She said Afro beats ain't really about nothing. I couldn't really connect to it, so I decided to do R&B music. She's admitting that the music she does is our music. Salute to her for that. I respect her for that because the industry they still put her in the Afrobeats category. Even though she's singing R&B, you know,
R&B
she's singing
music.
a version of R&B music. They still put her in the Afrobeats category and refer to her as an Afrobeats artist. But she's saying, I don't really do Afrobeats. I'm just doing R&B music. That's the music I grew up listening to. That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? And so she also said, let me finish. She also said, it's more popular in Nigeria. The singer explained that when she used to listen to Nigerian music, it sounded plain and basic to her. She didn't feel any substance or anything spiritual that she could connect with in Afrobeat songs. As she was more familiar with the type of music associated with artists like Celine Dion. I don't know where that.
Did she say
I don't
Celine
know.
Dion?
She didn't say that. That's not a quote from her. Whoever wrote this said that. I don't know if she brought up Celine Dion's name or not. But the person.
Well, R. Kelly did write for her, by the way. Just in case.
Yes, Kelly did write a song for Celine Dion. But the type of music associated with artists like Celine Dion, they said. Now that didn't make no sense. They talking about R&B music and then they threw Celine Dion out of all people. I think that was the writer though. But Tems wanted to make a difference by producing music that would really do well with the sound she wanted to put out, and that is why she learned to produce herself. So I don't know. I didn't see her getting backlash for that statement, but Burna Boy was getting a lot of backlash for saying what he said. And plus, on his album, because I ended up checking out his album because I listened to that interview to get the full context of what he was saying. And in the interview, he was saying, they mentioned that he had RZA on the album, he had Jizza on the album, he had J. Cole on the album. And so I'm like, oh, this might be all right. So I checked it out, and it's mid. Ain't nothing special about it. It's mid. But he got the song that he got with J. Cole. I think it's called "This Is the Thanks I Get," and he's kind of going in on Nigerians on that song. You know what I'm saying? He's going in. He's like, look, I put this shit on the map. Y'all niggas is talking right now because of me, and this is the thanks I get. That's what the theme of the song is. And so they was really mad at him about that. And so I seen some of the Nigerian writers giving him bad reviews. They were slamming the album, saying the album was trash. He ain't talking about nothing. He don't got no substance on the album. And he's cursing. They start saying, oh, yeah, you doing all this cursing and talking about bitches and popping bottles and all this stuff. They threw him all the way under the bus.
Well.
So now, Burna Boy, you have found yourself on an island, nigga, by your damn self with no support because remember, you the same nigga that was out here talking about Black Americans don't got no culture and we need to go back to Africa and all of that shit. Right.
While they asses is running over here in droves, though.
You know what I'm saying? So you lost us with that one. And now you try to tell the truth about your own culture and they ain't fucking with you either. So now you're on the island by yourself, homie.
All right, Gilligan.
I think the Caribbeans is rocking with you though. Busta Rhymes and everybody like that. I think they might be rocking with you still. So that might be your new base, homie. Because you did also say in another interview that you used to hide the fact that you were Nigerian and pretend to be Jamaican. So maybe that's your new base.
It's weird. These people are weird. These people are weird. Yeah, that's crazy. And I want to tap one more story before we go. It's only short. You guys can also find this on Raheem Shabazz's page. But Fulton County inmate dead in his cell filed complaint against jail and deputies days before he was found dead. So Fulton County inmate found dead in cell filed complaint against jail and deputies days before. His name is Samuel Lawrence. He was a Fulton County inmate who suffered from violence and neglect at the hands of the jail in his 7 months there. A federal lawsuit filed on his behalf alleges he received regular beatings from inmates and guards and was also denied access to food and medical treatment, according to recent federal lawsuit. At times, he was suicidal. I don't know how much more I can take, Lawrence, 34, wrote in his August 22nd complaint. I'm starving, I'm thirsty. Lawrence was found unresponsive in his cell during dinner rounds on Saturday. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office confirmed he was transported to Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, where he was pronounced dead. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported. He is the 5th inmate to die in jail since August. That same
Since
jail.
August.
Since August, y'all. We just now got in September.
Hold on. You talking about August 23?
August 23, yes. Now, days before he died, he filed his civil rights complaint against the jail, its deputies, and other staff. The document containing roughly a dozen handwritten pages detailed the dispute conditions he said he faced in Fulton jail. He wrote from an isolation cell where he said he slept on the hard metal floor and was without water or a working toilet.
Yeah, they got at him.
Oh, wait. He said, I would like to file a temporary restraining order and request a transfer due to ongoing physical torture, brutality from the guards and inmates, and neglect, he wrote.
Wow.
It's crazy. I mean, sad he died, but he got that complaint in before, hopefully the family, pushes, that through. And yeah, there definitely needs to be some consequences. And they were probably putting inmates on him, to further torture him. Sounds like. Yeah. Now, what it doesn't say is what he was in jail for. And it's, probably something small.
That don't even matter.
Yeah. Not like that to, say like he deserved there, but, going through what he was going through, probably in there, probably for something like a ticket. You know what I'm saying? And, they're, just messing with him because they felt that they could.
Yeah, like the Khalif Browder situation.
Yeah, yes.
You know what I'm saying? He was in there for like a backpack or something that he didn't even steal.
Right, that he didn't even steal.
Yeah, that type of shit, man. Yeah, that's sad, man. So there was no statement from the jail or the deputies or anything?
Nope.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. RIP to that brother and condolences to his family, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We gotta stay out of that place, man.
Yeah.
We gotta stay out of those places, man. Get behind enemy lines like that, man. These people can do whatever they want to do with impunity. And so we about to close out, get up out of here for today. But I do want to say something about this. To me, anyway. I don't know if y'all agree with me or not. This is how I feel. Black Voltron said it's either reparations for foundational Black Americans or no Black vote. Now I want to know how y'all feel about this, because to me, let's just use Robert F. Kennedy as an example. Let's say all of those programs that he was talking about, it was very clear that he was pushing those programs specifically for foundational Black Americans, but he wasn't pursuing reparations. He think reparations is a losing fight. I'm not going to go there, but this is what I'm willing to do specifically for foundational Black Americans. To me, I could get behind a candidate like that. There's tangible benefits in those programs, and if it's specific to our group, I could get behind a candidate like that. And that still doesn't stop our fight for reparations. Doesn't mean we stop pushing for reparations. But I don't think just the reparations alone is the ultimate deal breaker. What y'all think?
Well, for me, it's tangibles and reparations. And tangibles, is tangibles. Reparations is a tangible as well. But I don't think that, a candidate himself or herself can push it through, because we know that it also does have a lot of the moving parts. And it also has to, even a president will have to get the support from Congress and, other people. So I'm on the side of, if I'm getting some tangibles, I can mess with some tangibles if it is, cut clear, specific to us, and I know that we can tangibly benefit from it. And again, like you said, continue to, fight for our reparations. I can get down with that, because my thing is, if we're turning down something, that can help, get our people over, get some programs, business grants. I'm not on the side of loans. I don't want a loan. I don't feel like we should have to borrow money. So if it's definitely grants and stuff like that for businesses, better in our schools for our children, specifically in our neighborhoods, which again, that stuff is going to trickle down to other people anyway, because, not unfortunately, but we're not the only ones, in these schools. You know what I'm saying? I can ride with that because I'm getting something. If we don't accept something, then what are we going to get? Because we know that reparations is a hard push, especially federally. We know that they're fighting for it here in California, but ain't no check cut yet. It's still a fight nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on the side of getting some tangibles. You know what I'm saying? Us as a new business, that have a lot of other things under our umbrella, we could definitely, Godcast Enterprises could definitely benefit from some of those business grants as Black people, foundational Black Americans.
Right. Crown 808 said if there is specific legislation for Black people, and she means foundational Black Americans, after careful review of the written policy, then yes. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like
that's doing business.
Yeah, that's doing business. If we got somebody that's up there saying, like what I think he was trying to say in his interviews, look, I'm not pushing for reparations, but I ain't gonna fight against reparations. But this is what I could do specifically for your community, and those things make sense, and the language is all right. I think that's something that we should support. I think that's something that we should do business with, but that doesn't stop our fight for the ultimate goal.
And I honestly respect the fact that he's saying, I don't see it happening. It's not my thing. I won't stop you guys from doing it, versus people that's lying and saying that they're behind it when they're really not. Right.
That's what I was getting from the interviews. But again, looking at his site, ain't nothing there.
Right.
Ain't nothing there to get behind. So I'm not saying we need to get behind Kennedy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm speaking hypothetically. If that were the situation, Kennedy or any other person, whether it was Donald Trump or whoever, they get up there and say, look, we about to shut down all this whole LGBT agenda in schools and all of that stuff. You vote for me, that's dead. That's dead. We punishing people for pushing shit like that in the schools. We gonna get this anti-Black hate crime bill popping specifically for y'all, because y'all are being targeted out here by race soldiers and vigilantes on the street and all that. We gonna do something specifically to protect y'all. And, we got these business grants and loans and stuff like that we could work out specifically for y'all. Make sure y'all get access to federal contracts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And they're not trying to call it reparations. I can fuck with that candidate.
I can too. Because again, it's tangibles. It's a tangible. Those are tangible things, versus we have candidates right now that ain't offering us shit, but them popping their ass, Kamala. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that benefiting me? What do I get from that? How do my children eat from that? What kind of legacy am I going to pass down to my kids because you popped your ass?
Right.
We got to get very business savvy, when dealing with these politicians, and get what we can, if anything, because like you said, we're not saying vote for him, because again, we read the, his website, there's nothing. So we're not behind him at all. But if he or any candidate comes to the table with any of those said things or more, absolutely we can mess with that. That's doing business. Right. And we can still fight for our reparations, because it's going to be a fight. We knew that wasn't going to be an easy, feat anyway.
Right. All right. So thank you guys, everybody who tuned in with us live today. We appreciate y'all. Continue to rock with us, man. Make sure y'all share this out on your social media platforms. Anybody checking this out on the replay, leave us some comments in the comment section. Let us know what you thought about some of the topics that we touched on today. Appreciate y'all tuning into Sincere Love the Godcast as always. I think we back this Wednesday with another Black Business Showcase. Yes?
Yes. Wait, no, not this week. Wait, what is Dr. Kaba's son's name?
Hey, Rue.
Look, how did I not get that? Like, talk about a major brain fart. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. As you guys know, Dr. Kaba was down there at Lake Lanier, right?
I know he was here today. I didn't even realize it was today that they was going to be back at the record store.
From 1 to 4. Yeah. So they see this street that leads down to the lake, and it's called Jim Crow Road. And Hey Rue took a picture of it and posted it on his Instagram, and I was just like, wow, and our ancestors are supposed to be pleased. And Rex there, man, that's crazy.
Georgia.
Like, that was wild. Seeing that was wild for me. Like the lake itself and everything that goes on there. But yeah, he said the road
just died recently too.
Again, another 23-year-old.
Last weekend, right?
Mm-hmm. And Jim Crow Road.
Family, appreciate it. Great broadcast, family. Thank you.
Can you imagine? How do I get to the lake, y'all? What street I turn on? Make a right on Jim Crow Road.
Jim Crow Road.
Like what?
That's Forsyth County, by the way. That's Forsyth County. Remember, they was on Oprah Winfrey show back in the days talking about keeping Forsyth County all white. Yeah, that's where that's at.
That is crazy, though. Jim Crow Road, y'all.
All right,
the
fam.
white supremacists don't want you to forget shit.
I was going to say that does it for today's episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in with us. Remember, family, we are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new black media. Appreciate y'all. Peace and black love.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.